Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning we go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video, and one person's question will help me make the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video, and if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and put repeat question. It'll get moved to the top. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. And I have been in the hobby now for 27 years, so I've been here for a while. And we do have to give a quick thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app even compares. I have tried every single one of them. One of my favorite things is the social aspects to it, to where you can actually, post pictures of your collection and follow people and send your collection to other people. It's honestly so much fun. You can just get sucked in for a couple hours looking at people's collections. And then two, they do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby. So definitely check them out and make sure you follow them on all their socials so you don't miss out on these crazy giveaways. I got all the links in the description. And of course, if you're going to read through PSA for your first time, click the link, use the code BEARD25, you'll get $25 off your first submission. And same with tag. Click the link, use the code BEARD10, you'll get 10% off your first submission. And I will be in Chicago May 1st through the 3rd at Trading Card Con. Another crazy show. Coop, Beard at a ton of PokeTubers. And I'm going to even have like a whole photo spot for all my life-size statues, so definitely swing by. And you can also use the code PokeBeard, and you get $5 off your tickets. All right, first question is from @Sandmin. Hey, Beard, do you have your eye on any affordable Pikachu promos that don't break the bank to pick up? Yes, I do. We got the Pikachu from Paldea Evolved promo. This is the non-Pokemon Center one. Last sold for this, all about $18, $19. The ETB is getting very, very expensive. And anytime we get a Pikachu card, especially with 3 starter Pokemon all in the same card, I mean, that is just crazy. It is a no-brainer every time. It really reminds me of the Festa card, which is one of the most expensive cards in Pokemon, where it has the 3 Kanto starters with Pikachu. So I love this card so much. It is an awesome, awesome card. And we have the same exact thing again. This is a Sword and Shield promo, but this has the Gen 8 starters in it. And last sold for this, $90, $79. We got a bunch of lightly plays at $60 and $70, but near mint is around $75 to $80. This card is super, super cool. It got up to $122, dropped down to $73, and coming up again right now. Remember, I always say buy the dips. And like I said, anytime we get Pikachu with 3 starters, it is a no-brainer. And we have the Ash's Pikachus. So they did make a lot of these, but they're still so cool, and they're very, very affordable. These are Sun and Moon promos. They all have the different hats that Ash wears throughout the years, and there's barely any cards that actually say Ash in the card. We got like the Ash Greninja and stuff. So I think these are slept on. They range from $30 up to about, $50. And yeah, they're just awesome. Next is from Max McKenzie. Hey, Beard, looking at the Lucario promo from Crown Zenith, I see this as super undervalued, especially sealed. Comparing the price of the Crown Zenith ETBs to that of Obsidian Flames, I can't see a reason why the Lucario can't reach the same heights as the sealed Charmander promo in the near future. Would love to know your thoughts. So Charmander is on a different level than Lucario, in my opinion. Especially right now, we have a lot of Gen 1 people collecting. I know Lucario is basically one of the most popular Pokemon ever, but you just can't mess with Charmander and, Charizard and Pikachu and stuff like that. But I do agree this card is slept on. It is going up in price. I mean, it was $8 a couple months ago, and it just keeps slowly climbing now, right around $12, $13. But I could easily see this card being a $20, $25, $30, $40 card. It's just going to go right up there with the ETB. I have a ton of these already. Otherwise, if I didn't have any, I would definitely buy a nice little stack of them. Next is from TJ Bartlemus. Do you believe that pre-release staff promos are overrated or underrated? I feel like a lot of the newer people in the hobby have slept on them simply because they are not full arts. I honestly feel like a lot of people in the hobby have no idea what a staff promo even is. Every time I talk, about them to someone, like at a show or something, I feel like they have no idea what I'm talking about. But there's a ton of very, very affordable ones. And some of them are even, a little bit older here. But, a lot of the newer ones, Stellar Crown, $15, $16. We got Sun and Moon Burning Shadows, the Beware, market price $20. That Pokemon was actually in the anime a lot. That's not a bad price, $20 for that. The Ladian, another really cool Gen 2 Pokemon for $20. We even got the Metang for $20 from Temporal Forces. So there is a ton of very affordable staff cards, and people forget these are, some of the most exclusive cards we get in Pokemon. These and then probably Pokemon Center ETB promos. But we got the Charizard staff card up here from Team Up, market price $575, so you can kind of see the top of what these cards can really get to. We got the Charizard from Vivid Voltage with the staff stamp. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it in the video, but yeah, it literally just has a gold staff promo stamp on it. So I think they're super, super cool. This Milotic is sick. With the pre-release too, nice. I do have a bunch of staff cards, and I have always wanted to collect every one, but I usually just end up getting the more popular Pokemon. Like I got a few Kyogre staff cards from Celestial Storm. That card is sick. You know, I got one of the Giratina from Lost Thunder. I got a Jirachi. I don't have the Milotic, which I really, really want. Never seen that one clean in person. I got the Moltres. So I got a few of the, you know, nice banger cards. But yeah, I think they are super slept on. Even the cheaper ones. I think they will slowly go up in price. All right, next is that Tamu6892. Hey, I'm going to Japan next month and I wanted to buy some cards. What are the best Japanese exclusive cards for under $100 to $150? I got you. The Hoopa. Love this card. I mean, it literally has a Lugia in the background. It's got the Mega Rayquaza and the Pikachu. Like, it is an insane card. And, you know, the prices kind of range, especially if you want them sealed. They are pretty expensive. But you can find really clean raw copies for, you know, I've seen them for $70 all the way up to $150. Very, very cool card. Next, the actual banned Japanese exclusives. You can probably find these all over there, and you might be able to find a really good deal. I actually think these cards are pretty slept on, and they are history in my opinion. You know, you got the Naked Misty there, and the Moo Moo Milk, and the, you know, Perverted Grimer, stuff like that. The Sabrina's Gengar is sick, because it has the tombstones in the back. That card is already very expensive, but I think these cards can be worth even more money, in my opinion, because, like I said, they are history. Yeah, I feel like those would all be pretty solid pickups. Next is from at 15, Edgar Angel. Hey, Bearded, love the videos. My question is, personally never heard of these cards. The Pokemon Meiji Get Card movie promo, Flying Mew, number 14. I recently picked up a 9 for $299. At some point, we will all sell something. Are the Meiji promos hard to move? Any value in them? Very cool card, though, in my opinion. They're just super, super niche. They're super cool. I haven't seen them a ton, but every once in a while I see them. And yeah, like I said, they're just niche, so I don't know if they will ever get a ton of love. I'm sure they will slowly appreciate, but they're definitely going to move a lot slower than, you know, some of the more popular cards. But I actually don't have any of these cards, really. I did get a few back in the day, but I just ended up trading them and stuff for cards that, like, I actually needed to finish my collections and stuff. But what's cool about it is, you know, 99% of the hobby has never even heard of these cards. So if you showed somebody these cards, they'd be like, oh man, that is super, super cool and unique. So yeah, I think they're cool. Next is from that Brandon Pla. Do you recommend buying the Chinese art rares raw or in 10s? I'm always skeptical of buying fakes, but I also don't want to overspend. Appreciate any advice. So make sure you're getting them from legit sellers if you are buying these cards raw. These are some of the most fake cards in Pokemon right now. And, you know, it's much safer buying PSA slabs, but again, you can also get fake PSA slabs. So just make sure you're getting from good sellers. You can always go on eBay and check any single Chinese art rare. Let's say the Ponyta is selling for $140. You'll find 50 listings of it selling for half the price, all from brand new sellers that are just, you know, trying to scam you and sell you fake cards. So please be careful buying these Chinese exclusives. And same thing with the Chinese boxes. You know, you got to get them from a legit seller, someone that has a reputation, a ton of sales, that's someone who, you know, cares about their reputation. If they're a newer seller, it's just sketchy. I would not even risk it. All right, next is from at Kasha0211. Are you guys ever going to have any shows in the Buffalo, Rochester area? There are not a lot of card shops in my area, and I'm not sure how to find shows. So you can actually just Google card show and, you know, put your state or city after that, and they have a database that'll show you all the card shows coming near you. But I don't have anything planned in that area this year, but my schedule is getting wild. Like, I'm going to Chicago in 2 weeks, and then after that, I'm going to Columbus, Ohio. Then the week after that, I'm going to Vegas, doing a show with the toy expert from Pawn Stars, and I'm going to be meeting up with Chum Lee and stuff. And then the week after that, I'm going to California, I think Irvine, California. I'm going to take a little vacation after that, you know, just relax in Cali for a bit. And then, you know, every single month, I have at least 2 or 3 card shows out of state. So it is getting wild. All right, next is from a member, Fia GG2313. I probably butchered that. Hi, Bro Beard. Love your journey on the channel. I'm a small fish in the ocean. I own 1 Destin Rivals regular ETB, the only sealed I own that appreciated so much. Would you sell it now to add some funds for new products or reprints on good sets like Ascended Heroes, or for PC ETBs, or just keep it? Appreciate your insight on this. So if you're just starting out, you got a Destin Rivals ETB, I would definitely just keep that thing. It's a very good box to sit on, and, you know, it's not guaranteed you're going to find anything else for MSRP for a while, so you might as well, you know, take the W while you got it. Right, next is from Taco Kylo. Hey Beard, question. Will Ascended Heroes surpass Prismatic, 151, Crown Zenith in price in 2 to 3 years? So definitely Crown Zenith, and I think it will be Prismatic. Really depends on reprints though. And 151 is going to be really tough to take down, especially got a really good head start and has, pure Gen 1 nostalgia. But I do think Ascended Heroes is way better than 151. Like, not even close. Especially, we got a ton of Gen 1 Pokemon in Ascended Heroes. Like, the Charizard, the Pikachu, the Gengar, the Mewtwo. So, yeah, I do think Ascended Heroes is way better. Next is from Chris Calf 9495. Thoughts on purchasing other companies' graded cards for cheaper than PSA counterparts and cracking to send to PSA. So actually I have a buddy who does this, and he is actually very, very good at it. And I have seen him, take a ton of like basic CGC 10s and cross them over to PSA 10s where he gets way more value. So it's definitely possible for sure. Next is from Middyville Concept 4575. What do you think about trading a Prismatic PC ETB? I have 2 for an Ascending Heroes PC ETB. Definitely. Next is from Kiri Collect. Greetings, Mr. Beard. I've been trying to save, but I can't afford the 151 Charizard SIR. I have 2 Crown Zenith ETBs I got for retail price. I can sell 1 and use that to buy the Zard. What would you recommend? Should I wait? So I normally like to wait, but I'm super patient, and I know I'm going to be here in the next couple of years. I'm going to be here forever. So I always really like to wait till cards come down in price. I try not to buy stuff when it's at its all-time high. But of course, there are some, cards that just keep going higher and higher and higher, and you do not want to miss out on that. And since you do have 2 Crown Zenith ETBs, I'm guessing this is the last card you need for 151. That's not a bad idea. You are at least getting one of the more popular modern cards, and if it finishes the collection, that's our main goal here too, is to collect and, have it appreciate and all that too. So I don't think that's a bad idea. Next is from JXLN. Got lucky and pulled a Pika from Ascended. Price is crazy. Would it be smart to sell now and pick up something else? Like the Bubble Mew, it's a grail for a while, and put some money aside and buy back the Pika later. I feel like the price is super inflated. In my opinion, I like the Pikachu so much more than the Bubble Mew. But again, it really depends on reprints too, because if Ascended just gets reprinted into the ground the next 3 years, there's going to be a ton of those Pikachus. And I'm sure we will see a day where Pikachu is, maybe $600-$700, but we have no idea when that's going to happen. And I haven't seen a ton of pictures that I think there's even other little Pikachus up at the very top, up in the trees, which just makes that card even better. So I don't know. If it were me, I would just hold on to it. Next is from Cedar and friends. Hello, my bearded brother. Are there any Pokemon out there that you feel are unappreciated in the TCG? What Pokemon do you think should receive more cards and love? So I think Arceus deserves way more love and appreciation. Like, it's just crazy that the god of Pokemon is like a mid-tier Pokemon to a lot of people. I said this recently a few weeks ago in another What If Wednesday question. But yeah, I just think Arceus should have way more love. He's a GOAT. Next is from DGen Wins M4C. Beard, I'd like to know your thoughts on the trade I made over this weekend. I gave up a Surging Sparks PC ETB case. I still have 1 case from back before the Q system, and my PSA 9 Japanese Sabrina's Gengar for an Evolving Skies booster box. It's hard for me to give up the Gengar, but I feel like it was the right play long term. What are your thoughts? And thank you for all the great videos over the years. So that's tough because you always got to think about it like this. What's going to happen quicker? An Evolving Skies booster box going from $2,500 to $5,000, or a Surging Sparks Pokemon Center ETB go from $250 to $500. So you definitely got the cooler item, in my opinion, a box that a lot of people just dream about getting. So that's super cool, but it might not do as good as, a lot of the Pokemon Center ETBs. But you got to think those are newer products. We don't really know how those are going to do in the future also. But I could just see the Surging Sparks Pokemon Center ETB going from $250 to $500 much faster than Evolving Skies going from $2,500 to, $5,000. But like I said, you got something super, super cool that a lot of people wish they had in their collection. All right, last question is from Kevin Brunson 3989. Hello, Bearded Wizard. Watching from the UK. I managed to buy 6 Japanese 151 booster boxes at 60. Would you look to move 1 or 2 of these for products I missed out on, like the Megazard UPC or first partner boxes? Thanks. I think that'd be totally fine. That's why I love getting a ton of boxes. You have so many different options. You can trade for some cool stuff or sell it when you need some cash. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday, and I totally forgot to do the question of the day. Do you guys like Heracross better, or do you guys like Pinsir better? Let me know down below. And of course, subscribe, notification bell, leave a comment, all that. Hype points. You guys know what to do. You guys are the best. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. If you guys could do me a massive favor and watch that Noah Lyles video, I'm trying to get that thing to 10K. Click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.